Welcome back to another episode of The Natty Teacher. I am, of course, your host. Who else but the Natty Teacher? And today, we got a pull day. Our pull A session, to be exact. That'll be coming at you here in just a few minutes. But what do we got for our pull A session? Well, to get us started, of course, we're going to get in there, get a nice little warm-up in, tailored towards the back, get everything nice and loosened up, back and rear delts, I would say, more than anything, and a little bit of bicep work in there as well, just to kind of loosen up those areas, loosen up the forearms, all that kind of fun jazz. Get a nice little, very minor pump in our pulling muscles. After that, the actual session itself consists of some shoulder width mag grip pull downs with the hands more in a hammer position or a neutral position. Then we will have our chest-supported neutral grip machine rows. Then after that, we'll move into our Smith rows. Again, more tailored toward the mid-upper back. And we'll close out the back portion of our pull day with some upper back pull downs. After that, we have some machine rear delt flies. And then we have some single arm machine breacher curls. And we will close out with some single arm cable curls to get us rock and roll. Then we do have a little bit of direct abdominal work, and that's it. So pretty decent session as far as like the time of the session. Probably will take the better part of about 2 hours. So it's okay to be in the gym for more than an hour, guys. That is okay. You're not losing progress by being in the gym for more than an hour. You know, one of the big things I keep seeing more and more is, and I feel like I just had a rant about this recently in one of my intros, but I ended up deleting a bunch of older content that I had pre-filmed to try to catch up a little bit, because I keep on having these little stints where I'll like be consistent for a couple uploads and then have like a week or so in between. And so I got all these like backed up, training videos where I'm already on to the next session, like a repeat of that session that I already have filmed. And I was like, why don't I just film this new one and delete the old one? So that's kind of what I'm doing now. So I keep seeing more and more people on, again, mainly TikTok, mainly Instagram, even a little bit on YouTube, all that kind of fun jazz, and the F word pops up, but not what you're probably thinking. Keep it school appropriate here. Come on now. Fatigue. You got to manage fatigue. We have to lower fatigue. We want to lower volume to make sure that we are not overly fatiguing ourselves. Look, all I know is this. I'm not saying that I am like this. I'm not trying to go into one of those like black and white motivational speech videos or something like that. I don't know if I fit that criteria. But I will say that there is obviously some logic behind those statements. Yes, obviously, if you are just going in there and overly fatiguing your body, like you are intentionally, going way past failure and your body cannot recover, like you go into, each session and you're just more and more fatigued and more tired, and you're getting worse results because of this. Yeah, obviously that's just silly at that point. But that's not the case with a lot of people. What I see so much on social media right now, and fitness is such a revolving door. You'll have ideas that were super popular 10 years ago that'll go away. People will hate on them, and then all of a sudden, 10 years later, they'll come back and be super popular again. So, this will probably just rotate into something else. But I just see too many, especially younger guys who are science-based, and I consider myself a very balanced science-based bro lifter. And I see a lot of the very far end of the science-based lifters who are making some of this content where they're like, we have to manage fatigue, and they're so afraid to become fatigued that they're leaving gains on the table. That's just the simple fact of it. People forget about the biggest part of bodybuilding, in my opinion, is regardless of your programming, obviously if your programming is, poor and you're not making progress and you're getting weaker and not recovering, okay, well then that's a big issue too. But the underlying foundation of anything related to bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman, any kind of like strength athlete sport, most sports on the planet, is intensity. You have to have that intensity. Fatigue yourself. Like, that's okay. It is okay to fatigue yourself. It's okay from time to time to go into your next like leg session, for example. You hit legs and then 3-4 days later you're hitting legs again or whatever it is in your schedule, and you're still a little bit tired. That's okay. I feel like people are so weird about that nowadays, where they're just like, you can't be fatigued, you have to be perfect. Every session you should be going into, you should feel 110%. If that was the case, man, I'd be bench pressing 850 pounds right now and squatting 1,200 raw and, deadlifting probably, 1,500 pounds too. You know what I mean? Doing bent over barbell rows with 840 pounds. That's just not how it is, man. You know what I mean? Like progress, I feel like people are mistaking their lack of fatigue with progress, put it that way. And I feel like that's an unfortunate thing. Now, do I also agree with the side where, yes, you have to manage fatigue to an extent. You have to be able to still recover and grow. If you are not doing those things, you are obviously doing too much, and that's okay. But I would rather have, especially a younger, athlete, a younger guy or gal going into the gym and doing a little too much than not knowing what it's like to actually truly feel fatigued. You know what I mean? There's my rant for you. I'm going to cut it there. I could rant and rave about that all day. Moral of the story is this. It's absolutely okay to be fatigued. But again, I will say that there is the logical side of that as well, where if you are just constantly fatigued and you are not recovering, well then, yes, you need to obviously address that and make some changes to fix that and accommodate that for sure. That's it. There you go. Rant over. Anyways, I am almost to the gym at this point, so I am going to kind of cut my little intro right now and go from there. So, yeah, I'm going to get in there, get warmed up, and top set of some mag grip pull downs coming at you right about now. All right, so first up on the docket, we got those shoulder width mag pull downs. Now, we are getting up into some heavier weights here, but even with that, we still are bringing that bar all the way down to the lower part of the chest here. I think on my 6th rep, I was unable to touch the chest, but it was really close. So I was still very happy with this top set. Top set here of 6, back off set of 8. So, yeah. Anyways. Then we went into one of my favorite movements for back as of late, which is just a chest-supported neutral grip row here. So we are driving that chest into the pad, trying to make sure that we don't lean back too far and let it come off the pad too much, but a little bit, that's all right. We are loading this bad boy up. This was a lifetime PR plus a rep as well. So it was not only additional weight, but also an additional rep compared to what I did last week. So I was super happy with that. And yeah, was just was stoked with how this set went. So top set here, and then we dropped the weight, I believe, about 15 pounds, 10 or 15 pounds, and did a back off set of 8 there. Then we have just a good old school Smith row, man. This was heavy. I think I only got 5 here, but I was very happy with this. This is 3 plates and a 5 on each side. We brought it back down to 3 plates after this and hit it for 6. So today was just some heavy Smith rows. Then we went into some upper back pull downs. Again, this was a top set here of 6. I mean, we're using quite a bit of weight here as well. Really getting that nice squeeze in that upper back and rear delts. Feels really good. And yeah, man, this was awesome. So again, top set here around that 6 rep range. Back off set we hit for a set of 8 as well. So that was kind of the theme for the day, is most of it was like 6 and 8 minus those Smith rows. Then went into a chest support. Well, not even. I mean, it is chest supported, of course, but just a good old school machine rear delt fly here. Added 5 pounds from last week. I do think we lost 1 rep. I think this was a top set of 7. And then we dropped the weight 15 pounds from here and hit that for a set of 8 or 9. So still very happy with that. Getting nice, good full range of motion, getting a good hard squeeze in the rear delts, and not sacrificing form as we continue to go heavier and heavier with these movements. Then we have a single arm machine preacher curl. Whoa. Again, another heavy exercise here. I mean, that's kind of the theme right now, guys. We are at that point in the off season where, as long as I'm recovering, we are continuing to push that strength game. Top sets of roughly 6, back off sets of, 8 to 10. That is where I like to live. And this felt really good. Strength is continuing to increase on this bad boy. And, yeah, just felt awesome. So, again, top set, back off set. This one we did just some good old school dumbbell hammer curls. So usually I would do like a cable single arm curl here, but today I opted for a dumbbell hammer curl. What we're using here is the 60s. So we did a top set of 8 here with the 60s. Ended up doing a second set of 8 with the 60s as well. Felt really good. Form stayed pretty dang tight. And wasn't using a ton of momentum, but just enough body English to kind of get those weights up into a, into a better spot. So, again, was very happy with this. Dumbbell hammers are something I'm kind of throwing back into my training after a little hiatus with them. So it's nice to go just nice and heavy on some good hammer curls, man. So I'm excited to see these numbers continue to climb more and more. After this, and I'll talk about in the outro, we did train some abs as well. Pull a session here. Let me turn on the fan. Wow. Sorry. It got warm out there when I was in the gym. It's like almost 70 degrees, and I got a friggin' sweatshirt, and I'm soaked. I'm running the air conditioning in my car. Sorry about that. It's probably very loud in the background because my car mount is like right on one of the vents in my car, so it kind of blocks it. Honestly, it kind of stinks because I don't really get much air. But at least out of that vent, I don't. But regardless, who cares about any of that? Holy smackers! That was a awesome workout, dude. Phenomenal session. Wowza! Just strong today. Just strong. Everything just felt smooth. Everything felt good. Every weight I touched, excuse me. It's just one of those things where, and I know you guys probably know the feeling. It's a phenomenal feeling. It's just where you go into the gym and anything you want to lift, almost, you just can. You just make it happen, make it work, and it just seems to go well. You know what I mean? Today was one of those sessions. Just felt good, even with a little bit of a lack of sleep. Like, that is, guys, I've said this in so many of my videos before, like, I don't get horrid sleep, but I usually average between like 6 and 6.5 hours of sleep every night, minus on the weekends. I usually kind of cram in a little bit more and get closer to that 7.5, 8 or more range. But during the weeks, yeah, man, my days just get so busy. By the time, we're getting my family to bed and all that kind of stuff, man, it's, 10 o'clock, 10:15, 10:30, and I get up at 5:20. You know what I mean? Or usually like 5:15, 5:20, 5:30 at the latest. So that's my one thing in my bodybuilding that I'm really trying to like be more conscious of, and not just be like, whatever, like when I go to sleep kind of thing. Like, I really am trying to be a lot more conscious of it, especially lately. So just doing what I got to do that. So regardless though, even with not the best sleep in the world, just a phenomenal session. Just felt really good. It was a lot of fun. And again, just just one of those sessions that it was just fun to be in. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a fun session to rock with, and just really enjoyed it. So I don't really have a lot more to say, man. I got to go home and make a little bit of food. I actually don't have a ton. I think I got to make, what do I got to make tonight? A couple more I think one more pack of turkey burgers, a couple small packs of chicken, which that takes me like 5 minutes to prep, and my post-workout beef, my steak. So we'll go home and make that and go from there. Yeah, man, phenomenal stuff. So yeah, I did not record my cable crunches. Did do 3 working sets of cable crunches. Again, guys, as a reminder, like a lot of the accessory stuff, I always think of calves and abs. I feel like those are the two most like slept on body parts that people like kind of just throw in whenever. And especially with a lot of the new like upper lower splits, which I'm a huge fan of, by the way. I think upper lower is awesome, and like push pull leg rest is awesome, like kind of a 4-day rotation like that. That's what I do, and I have definitely noticed an increase in my recovery and like overall strength and output and all of the things to progress forward at a much faster rate compared to what I was doing, where it was push pull legs, then rest 1 day and repeat. Like, that was a lot on my body, and I just felt like I wasn't really getting the most out of my recovery. But now, definitely in a better spot. So, one thing though with some of those splits is I feel like people get to the end of them, and especially when you got like, a full lower day where you got to hit, all the big body parts and all that kind of jazz, and then you just like maybe throw in a little bit of calves here and there once, twice a week, whatever. Be conscious of that. You know what I mean? I would say minimum calf training should be 2 to 4 times a week, minimum. Like for me, I kind of ride right in the middle there. I train calves on my first push day yesterday, and then on both my leg days, so every week. So again, I would just be leery of that, guys. And then abs are twice a week right now in the off season on both my pull days. So, and they're heavy weighted abs too. Like, it's not like I'm just doing some like, Roman chair leg raises, which again, nothing wrong with that. But I feel like people kind of skimp out on the abs. Like, all right, I'm going to do, all my other body parts I train in that 6 to 8, 6 to 10 rep range, but abs, I'm going to train in the 20 to 30 rep range. And it's like, why? Like, they're still a muscle group. You know what I mean? Like, they still are, a muscle that needs to be grown and developed. I'm not saying you got to go in and do like one set of 3 abdominal crunches. I'm not saying that. But go in there and do 3 sets of 6 to 12 reps, 8 to 12 reps, whatever it is, train the abs hard. Don't be afraid to train abs hard. Not too hard to where you're like tearing a muscle. It's how you should never be doing that anyways, but you should be training them hard. Regardless, I'm gonna cut my yapping. I'm pretty tired, ready to go home and eat, chill, and get ready for tomorrow. So if you have not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys. It means a lot to me, means a lot to the continued growth of the channel. So thank y'all so much for tuning in and watching, and continuing to push our little Natty community forward. I really appreciate it. And so again, if you haven't, make sure you do. If you really like the video, drop it a like, share it, let your friends know about the Natty Teacher. That would be awesome. I'd really appreciate that as well. And if you have any comments, questions, or feedback for the channel, of course, as always, please feel free to leave that down in the comment section below. When I see it, I absolutely will respond to it. So please drop all that feedback down for me in the comment section below. I can't wait to see it. Excited to see what y'all got for me, and go from there. So tomorrow, in the next upload you guys will see after this, a leg day, our leg A session with a little tweak. We are doing a different variation of Smith squats, a little bit tailored more towards the quads, and it's going to also be a little bit pushed later into the session. So we have kind of my bigger, I don't want to call it like compound leg day, which is actually my second leg day. And then we have tomorrow's leg day, which is a lot. It's basically all the machines, or a handful of like the machines I don't have access to at the other gym I train at. And so I kind of like, overload that second leg day with some bigger movements. So tomorrow, don't get me wrong, it's going to be hard and it's going to be heavy. But we really only have like one big squatting pattern tomorrow, and that's it. So that'll be our close foot, heel elevated Smith squats. I know it sounds so technically savvy and all this kind of stuff, whatever, but I'm excited to show you guys, and I'm excited to do them too, just to get a little bit better depth and put a little bit more emphasis on the quads. That's really the main goal with that, for sure. So yeah, man, that is what we are rocking and rolling with. So hey, most importantly, God bless y'all. Again, thanks so much for tuning in and watching. And yeah, from myself, the Natty Teacher, and from the whole Natty family, this episode of Road to Natty Pro, one of many more, but also at the same time, watching that journey kind of start to close out. Each day we are a step closer to achieving that ultimate end goal of getting a natural pro card. Not a pro card naturally, but a natural pro card within the NPC. So we are one step closer to that goal. Hey man, that's exciting. What a dream that will be, and we will absolutely make it happen. Heck yeah. So anyways, without further ado, again, I'm the Natty Teacher. I appreciate y'all tuning in and watching, and I will see y'all on the next one.